Now this is part 5 of the Earth 2 draft paper, the Ecosim. Part 1 covered the introduction and stats, part 2 covered the Earth 2 player, part 3 covered economics, and part 4 economic components. Feel free to go check those out, I'll leave links in the description below. For now, I'll just put Earth 2's disclaimer in, so that's been covered. The content provided in this draft summary and Earth 2 update is intended solely to provide a general background information about Earth 2's proposed objectives. It should not be interpreted as a white paper, disclosure statement, representation, or promise. The content should be considered as an indicative update but remains subject to change without notice. The information in this update was posted with reasonable care and attention. However, no representation or warranty or express or implied is made by Earth 2 as to the fairness, accuracy, completeness or correctness of this information, opinions and conclusions contained in this draft, summary and update. Earth 2 disclaims all liability for direct or indirect losses resulting from using, relying or acting upon information in the draft summary and update. And so do I for that matter. The Ecosim. Properties inside Earth 2 have the natural ability to produce ether and joules. These basic digital assets enable players to start their journey into the Ecosim and will enable them to use their properties to produce different types of resources in the future. Within the Ecosim, players are also able to earn essence by claiming ether, earn essence from reaching certain development states in the Ecosim, rewards, process raw materials by using essence as the core part of the transformation dependent on which resources the property has access to, building blocks by processing raw materials and upgrade developed building blocks into more advanced building blocks. Players will need to research and construct the appropriate production buildings to do this. The Ecosim will develop over multiple stages as the Earth 2 metaverse continues to develop, and will eventually reach a state where hundreds of different resources and buildings are available. However, each property will have limited types and amounts of resources available for production, making trade between players necessary and a core component of the overall Earth 2 metaverse design. Having the right products at the right time could make a player's fortune. All resources and products will be tradable in the bazaar, but there are plans to slowly decentralize these core elements of the Ecosim in the future, much in the same way we are tokenizing essence and implementing the ability to mint Earth 2 land as non-fungible tokens. Most of the player's control of the Ecosim will be facilitated via a central building, the Mentor, which can be bought or built by the player over time. The Mentors can be stacked with different kinds of joules to improve the production of resources, detection of ether and other available resources in the future. So I wasn't aware of these essence rewards for reaching certain development states. That's interesting. It kind of sounds like a leveling up bonus or achievement bonus. That's pretty cool. I like the fact that we're going to get rewarded for playing. The ability to mint Earth 2 land as a non-fungible token. To me, this implies not all land is automatically going to go to the blockchain, but it's going to be an optional upgrade for us. I guess that makes sense. Even using the Polygon network, minting all those tiles would be a huge expense. Making it an option for players negates that cost. Or it could just be worded badly, they could all be automatically minted. Ecosim buildings. Ecosim buildings are a special, pre-configured type of building with a special purpose inside the economic simulator. They can be categorized as follows. The Mentor, which transforms resources and yields essence through the detection and conversion of ether. Storage buildings consisting of a certain number of storage units, which translates into a set volume of resources that can be stored. Players with hollow buildings placed on their properties will receive backdated storage capacity as well as the direct ability to transfer the hollow building storage size into storage buildings when they are released. Industrial buildings, which convert resources into building blocks and other assets. Research buildings, which are needed to research and learn blueprints. So more there about the benefits of hollow buildings and the retrospective rewards attached to them. The research buildings, I'm reading that as we will need to unlock new buildings before we can construct them. So not only will we have the production cost of the actual building, but the blueprint research costs too. Ecosim components. Storage unit. A storage unit is the unit of measurement for storage space on a property. Freshwater, gold, for example, have a vastly different value to volume ratio. To make storage capacity a factor for both resources equally, storage capacity is measured in storage units instead of cubic meters. Furthermore, every resource has its own volume to storage unit conversion rate, ensuring storage room is a valid factor during gameplay for every resource instead of being irrelevant for some and completely useless for others. See, that makes sense. If gold and water took up the same amount of room, but the value of gold was 50x that, the appeal of storing these low value resources would just be gone. Using the storage unit's measurements will hopefully make us keep a hold of everything rather than just the valuable ones. Blueprints. To create assets from building blocks, the corresponding blueprints must be researched first. Blueprints can be researched through research buildings at a cost of resources and essence. Assets. An asset is the umbrella term for singular finished products physically present on properties, e.g. a house, a drone, a marketing billboard, or a pen. They are created from building blocks through industry buildings and can be traded on the bazaar. Building blocks. A building block is a prefabricated part needed to construct an asset, e.g. steel beams or bricks. They are created from resources through industrial buildings and will be tradable on the bazaar. So there we go, most of that was pretty self-explanatory, although the steel beams or bricks is a good indication of the building process. It's clearly not just going to be this building needs X amount of wood, gold and water, but we're going to have to create components which will then in turn allow us to create these assets. It's pretty cool. As always, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and have an amazing day.